So Don, you mentioned that place in Boulder that has the...
Yeah, it's actually here in Longmont,
It's in
out
Longmont.
Nelson Road there. If you go west of Longmont, out Nelson, a couple miles, there's a place with two giant radio telescopes aimed at space, and that's, I know SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, is the primary tenant of those, and they rent those telescopes to search for alien life. And with the mountains in the backdrop and these massive, cool antennas, it's just otherworldly. I think it's really cool. And I live not too far from there, and there's right behind us there's a big mesa called Table Mesa or something like that. Not Table Mesa, but it's something like Tabletop Mountain. And we often see black helicopters cruising over and landing out. You know, you can't see them land, but they're like, what is going on with secrets, government and aliens? And it's obvious, right? There's something going on there. There's a story to be told. You don't even have to invent it. It's almost being handed to you. So if you've got your story and you're thinking about locations and you're thinking about casting, any concerns? You got gear? You got access to a camera? Everybody in this day and age has, in the family, you usually have a pretty good camera at your fingertips or available or in your pocket. The new iPhone 6S shoots 4K video, which is phenomenal.
What does that really mean?
Good question. It's the resolution. So in HD, we probably know what HD means. That means it's 1980 by 1080 pixels. So that's the number of dots on the screen. And 4K, basically 4 times that. And it's really nice in shooting 4K is nice because in editing you can generate an HD movie, but every frame of your 4K footage is like 4 separate HD frames. And if you want to shoot a 2-shot and punch in and have 2 1-shots, the resolution will still be HD quality.
So looks like we're up and out, fully operational.
All right.
All right, so my hero in this business is a guy named Robert McKee. And he says everything is about story. Our appetite for story is a reflection of the profound human need to grasp a pattern of living, not merely as an intellectual exercise, but within very personal and emotional experience. So it's really important, I know Don probably went over this, about how you really have to write from within and really make strong, rich characters, really write from what you know the most, which is yourself. And that's always kind of the trickiest part, really, is delving deep down into those deep, dark secrets that you have and getting those written down on the page, so you make your characters real as opposed to pretend characters. And we really need to, that's something that just kind of comes with experience. Okay, so just some recap. We probably went over the three act structure, and beginning, middle, and end. And so we're gonna, when we work on our exercises, we'll be kind of going over this beginning, middle, and end. So think in terms of story structure when we get further along. What's this is about characters. I won't go too much into that. We talked a little bit about premise here. We want to boil your movie down to a what-if statement, so you can tell people what it's about. And oftentimes, people will sort of say, well, we'll go into these like 20-minute diatribes about what the movie's about. Well, you don't want to bore your audience. You really want to get whoever's going to give you your $100. You want them to give you the $100, and you don't want to really kind of bore them with too much detail. You want to hook them. So that's why your what-if statements are really pretty good that you're going to come up with. All right, so what Don asked me to talk a little bit about is, kind of how you show how these ideas and your stories are put onto the screen. And so I've kind of dissected down to inciting incident, hero's journey, and picked out one here that I think is that's pretty evident about how it happens. And this is one called
It's not the same.
They appreciate each other.
Looks like Willie's got himself a soulmate. To set you free.
What's the matter?
Will's still not performing. We're getting deeper into this.
He was too big and too old to be caught in the first place.
Hey, the Will first more dead than alive.
They tried to kill him.
Warner Brothers proudly presents.
Let's bring Willie. He's got a family out there that hurt him.
All right, so we gotta save Willie. So what's going to be your hero's journey in your movie?
You gotta save Earth from the destruction.
Right. So I think the audience sometimes is kind of dense, and so you really got to let them know what's going on in your movie. You ever go to those? Ever watch like SUV dramas on television, Criminal Intent, and all those? When do they find the dead guy? Like right before the first commercial. So you really know what's going on in your movie. So we got to save the Earth. So what would be the call to action in your movie? We got to return home. We got to get home. And so we really got to let the audience know what this movie's about right off. Otherwise, people are going to say, God, it's 30 minutes into this movie and I still don't know what's going on. So you got to really let people know why this movie is even starting. Okay, so this is another key point that you'll be finding in your story, and this is the inciting incident. You know, a good inciting incident for me is, I use this one a lot. A guy walks up to the bus stop, the bus takes off, he misses the bus, and he has to sit down at the park bench and he meets somebody. So that's kind of what I use that inciting incident a lot. And so this is one that's one you've probably seen. It's from Spider-Man.
Perfect.
Is that good?
Great. That's great.
MJ, let's go.
Wait. Thanks. Parker, let's do it.
Alright, so what's the inciting incident for all the Spider-Mans to come, not Bite. Spider-Man wouldn't happen if he didn't go into that museum. In fact, the actual inciting incident might have been when his girlfriend talks him into going on the bus to go to the museum. But for sure, this is what sets off every single Spider-Man that was ever made after this Spider-Man was that Bite. So what's the inciting incident for your movie? But what causes all this to kick off?
When the aliens
They actually come to the Earth
and take it.
and take it. Okay, so that's a very obvious inciting incident. What about your inciting incident?
Aliens' whole world is destroyed.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty evident. All right, so what's your inciting incident? Oh, you're the same team. All right.
Zane.
Zane, what's your inciting incident?
Seeing the good-looking girl down the hall.
Okay, seeing the good-looking girl down the hall. Okay, so it's really
It's all about the girl.
So inciting incidents are you have to really get them across clearly. All right, so the next part of your movie, the climax of the movie. This is the end of the second act, beginning of the third act. The climax of the movie, where the movie can go no farther. And I like this one because it's it's pretty dramatic. And in cartoons, you can be really dramatic.
Just push it! Push it! Push it! Where's your kid now, Sheriff? No!
the best climax to a movie that I can know of in recent times. So, how about the climax to your movie? Like, what's going to happen? The Earth gets saved, right? That must be what happens.
Yeah.
So, is there like some dramatic thing that happens, like the clock comes down and saves the world, or how it happens?
There's a battle between another alien group.
Yeah.
For Earth.
Yeah.
All right. So, how about yours? What's the climax of your movie?
The alien meets a man who can fix her ship.
Oh, they fixed the ship. Is it, what's Zane? He gets the girl. You get the girl, right?
It just kind of switches point of view between two people.
All right. So think about how you're going to show that when you make your movie. I mean, this is like the main part of your movie is how does this whole story get resolved? And it's very important. So be thinking about your locations and how you're going to shoot it, and the people who are going to be in the scene. You can see how they're, Buzz Lightyear is trying to save what's her name, the girl, and make her feel good. It's very dramatic, and there's no dialogue during that whole time. It's all acting on the part of the characters. All right, what else do we have here? Interesting scenes. All right, so you get your movie written down, and so it's up to you as the director and up to you as the camera guys to figure out, okay, how can we make these scenes interesting? And like for instance, it might be something, in this particular instance, this is a movie that's called Some Like It Hot, and it could be, when you see the movie, you see maybe in the packet there's the page for the screenplay for this. But it could say something as simple as the two drive off ride off in the boat happily ever after. Okay, well that's kind of boring, right? So you as director might say, okay, well we either got to send that back to the screenwriter and have them come up with something more interesting, or you can make these decisions on the spot. Okay, this is how we might make this scene more interesting. So let's take a look at Jack Lemmon and Joy Brown.